class, I'm Isaac, your mathematics teacher from Smart Online. I'll be teaching you each topic, and before you go, subscribe to our channel and press that notification button so that you'll be notified for every video that we are going to be uploading. So let's go to class. Hi everyone, now I'm leading you into Algebra expression 2a, Algebraic expression 2a, where we are going to be studying simple equation and word problems. So we are going to be learning simple equations and word problems. If you have not watched Algebraic expression 1, A and B, so you can just go down and clear that class first, the first class for algebraic expression. So now we are going to second part of algebraic expression. So let's move on. Now, definition of equations. Now, equations are open sentences which have the equal sign. Are you following? Now, solving an equation means finding a value of the unknown which makes the equation true. Any letter like A, F, C, X, etc. can be used as unknown. When you don't know it, you can represent it by any alphabet. Now, the set of values which make an equation true is called the true set. Now, let's move forward. You will know better. Now, example 1. Solve the following simple equations. Number 1, 3a minus 8 equals to 10. Number 2, 10x minus 7 equals to 27. Number 3, 4 plus 5y equals to 19. Now let me go back for you to see. 4 plus 5y equals to 19. Now let's move on. Now solution. Now for number 1, 3a minus 8 equals to 10. Now this is what we are going to do. We are going to use two methods. And I know that in your fundamental class, elementary school, you have been taught all this, but this is just a reminder for you. Now method 1 that you are going to use is this. Now you are going to, you are going to collect the lifetimes in this sense. Are you following me? Then this is what you are going to do. It means that you want to bring this A number to where 10 is, because you want to collect the lifetimes, because 3a and minus 8 are not similar, because there is no a at the back of 8. So 8 is similar to 10. So we call them like terms. So that is what you want to do. But in method 1, that 8 that you want to remove actually to this side, you can add the same 8 to this place and add the same 8 to this place, such that when you remove them, you remove them equally. So now when you add the same 8 here and you add it here, that means you have shifted the 8 to this place. Now minus 8 plus 8 is equals to 0. Are you following now? So that is 3a minus 8 plus 8 is 0, because you have a depth of 8 and you still have 8. Then when you pay the depth, it remains 0. So that's why it's 3a in this side, and in other side 10 plus 8 is going to be 18. That is first method. And then when you want to get a now, they say you should solve the equation, meaning that you want to solve the unknown number, which is alphabet A. Now you are going to divide both sides by 3, that is the coefficient of A. 3 is at the front of A, so I want to make A the subject of formula. It's now going to be dividing both sides by 3. So divide both sides by 3, you are going to get 3a divided by 3 equals to 18 divided by 3. When you divide 3a by 3, you are going to get A. And then when you divide 3 by 18 by 3, you get 6. So it's now going to be 3. A equals to 3. Are you getting this? Let me write it so that you are going to get what I'm talking about. A equals to 6 now. Are you seeing it? That's it. So let's move on. Now method 2 is this. Now when you have the same question like this, you just have to carry it once. You carry all this back to this place. Now one of the principles is that when you carry any number, it's going to change in their sign. Are you getting it? If it is minus here, when you carry this 8 to this place, it's going to turn to plus. If it is plus here, when you carry this 8 back to this place, it's going to be minus. So let's see what I'm talking about. It's not going to be when you carry this minus 8 back to this place, it's going to be plus 8, which is now going to be 3a equals to 18, and then a will now be divided both sides by 3, which is now going to be 18 divided by 3, which is 6a is equals to 6. Note this again: if a number is moved from one side to another to an equation over the equal sign, meaning that you are moving a number over the equal sign, and to the other side, the sign of the number will change. Are you getting it now? That's what you must know. If the number was positive before you cross it over the bridge of equal sign, then it's going to come to minus if it is plus before. But if it is minus, it's going to turn to plus. That is what we are talking about. Move on. Yeah. Now, number 2, 10x minus 7 equals to 27. Using the first method, you are going to, that means you are going to add 7 to both sides. Add 7 to both sides. Now it's now going to be 10x minus 7 plus 7 equals to 27 plus 7. Now 10x, we write 10x, and then minus 7 plus 7 is 0 equals to 27 plus 7, which is 34. Moving on now, this is what you are going to get. It's now going to be 10x equals to 34. Are you getting it? Divide both sides by 10 to make x the sum of the formula, which is this. 10 cancel 10 here, remain x, and then 34 divided by 10 is going to be 3.4. You have x equals to 3.4. Now method 2 now, which is just directly cross minus 7 to other side, and when you cross minus 7 to other side, it's going to turn to positive 7 plus 7. It's now going to be 10x equals to 27 plus 7, which is 10x equals to 34. And then when you make x the subject of formula, it's going to be x equals to 34 divided by 10, which is what? 3.4. So let's move on. Now another example, which is example 2. You can do the rest of the example using the same method. So we are going to example 2, which is this. Solve the following equation. Number 1, 4 open bracket 3y minus 2 close the bracket equals to 6, and then number 2, 2 open bracket x minus 8 close the bracket equals to 3 open bracket x plus 5 close the bracket. Now solution. Number 1, 4 open bracket 3 y minus 2 equals to 6. The first thing is that you are going to remove bracket. If you have watched the first part of algebraic expression, that is expression 1, a and b, you will have known how to remove bracket by now. But if you have not watched it, just pause this video and go back. Okay, now remove the bracket. We have this. Now when you remove the bracket, that means you are going to multiply 4 by whatever is in the bracket. That is 4 times 3y is going to be 2y, and then 4 times minus 2 is going to be minus 8 equals to 6. Then you can carry minus 8 to his friend, which is 6. Are you getting it now? Which is now going to be, solving this equation is now going to be 12y equals to, you have brought 8 back to his friend. They are like times now, which is 6 plus 8, which is 14. You now get 12y equals to 14. And when you get this one, you are now going to divide both sides by 12. Are you following? Which is now going to be y equals to 14 divided by 12. Are you seeing it now? Yes. Now when you divide it to the smallest ratio, you are going to see that 2 goes in 14, 7, 2 goes in this one, and there is nothing going again. But 7 that is up is heavier than 6. So you are just going to divide. How many 6 in 7? 1. What remains is 1 divided by 6. I think you know that one in your fundamental schools. Let's move on. Now, number 2 now. 2x, 2 open bracket x minus 8 close bracket equals to 3 open bracket x plus 5 close the bracket. Now remove the bracket. First thing first, removing the bracket, you are going to have 2x minus 2 times 8, 2 times minus 8, which is minus 16, equals to 3 times x, which is 3x, plus 3 times 5, which is 15. Are you following now? Now you can collect the like terms. That means you are going to bring 3x to 2x, and you are going to bring minus 16 to 15, which is now going to be collecting the like terms together and solving together. It's not going to be, okay, you are moving 15 to 16. You know 16 is already minus 16, and then when you carry 15 cross an equal sign, it's going to turn to minus 15, and then 3x is already at the other side, and you want to move 2x to the other side. It's now going to turn to minus 2x. That is what we see now. So minus 16 minus 15 is going to be, you have depth of 16 and you still have depth of 15. Add them together, it's going to be depth of 31, which is 32 minus 31, and then 3x minus x is now going to be x. You have 3x and you have the depth of 2x. It remains x, and therefore x is equal to minus 31. Are you following now? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Now let's move further. Now example 3. Solve the following equations. Number 1 is a minus 2 divided by 3 equals to 4. Number 2 is 5 equals to 3x minus 2x minus 3 divided by 7. And then number 3 is 2 open bracket 2 divided by 3x plus 2 divided by 2 equals to 1 over x. Let's move on. Number 1, a minus 2 equals to a minus 2 divided by 3 equals to 4. Here, I can tell you can use this one. You know, 4 is the same thing as 4 divided by 1. So that means you can cross multiply like this, such that you multiply a minus 2 by 1, which is implies a minus 2. You can say times 1 is the same thing, because times 1 is the same thing, equals to 4 times 3. Are you seeing it now? When you do that one, it's not going to be a minus 2 equals to 12. Are you getting it now? Which you can say carry this minus 2 back to 12, which is 12 plus 14. So a is 14. But I will use another method right away. I'll use another method right away for more clarity. That's what I will do now. So for more clarity, I will use another method, which is simple. You just multiply by the multiple of 3, that is the denominator. Are you getting it now? That's what I'm going to do now. Now let's move on. Now, which is now going to be this one. Okay. Now multiply both sides by 3, because 3 is only the denominator in this equation. Multiply both by 3 is now going to be a minus 2 divided by 3 times 3 equals to 4 times 3. Are you seeing it? No, there is no teaching. Times 3 is here and times 3 is here. So when you do that one, 3 you cancel 3 here, remain a minus 2, and then 4 times 3 is 12, which was the same answer we got. Yeah, it's now going to be a minus 2 equals to 12, and then carry that 2 to 12. It's now going to be a equals to 12 plus 2, which is now going to be 14. Now let's go to this one. Now in this one, you do the same thing. You multiply both sides by 7, which is now going to be 5 times 7, and then by the time you multiply this one by 7, 7 will cancel 7. Are you seeing it now? So it's still going to be 2x minus 3. So let's move on. It's now going to be, as you multiply both sides by 7, it's now going to be 37, and 7 has cancelled 7 here, which is 2x minus 3. Now collect the like terms. This one is 35. Bring 3 back to 35, which is now plus 3. It's now going to be 35 plus 3 equals to 2x, and then adding them together, you are going to get 38 equals to 2x, and then it's x that you want to find, and then you divide both sides by 2, which is now going to be x divided by 2, which is now going to be x equals to 38 divided by 2, which is 19. So let's move on. Number 3. 2 divided by 3x plus 1 over 2 equals to 1 over x. Now collect the like times. Collect the like times. We are going to collect the like terms together, which is now going to be 2 divided by 3x. Bring minus 1x to its friend here, which is now bring 1 divided by x to its friend here. It's going to be minus 1 divided by x. And then carry this one across the sign again, which is 1 over 2. It's now going to turn to minus 1 over 2. This is what you do. Now deal with these like terms first. That is to find the LCM with the like term, which is 3x, the denominator. Are you following me? Which is now finding the LCM of the 3 and x. This one, which is now going to be this. Which is now going to be how many 3x in 3 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Then how many x in 3x is 3, and then which is 3 times 1, which is now minus 3. Are you following? Let me say it again. How many 3x in 3x is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. How many x in 3x is 3. 3 times 1 is 1. You know, and the sign here is minus, which is equals to minus 1 over 2. With this, what can you do here? Yeah, you can do the subtraction. That is 2 minus 3 is going to be minus 1, because you have the 2 and you have the depth of 3. You are going to have the depth of 1 remain over 3x equals to minus 1 over 2. You can cross multiply. Here to say minus 1 times 3 equals to minus 1 times 2. Are you following? So let's move on. Now, which is now going to be minus 1 times 2 is minus 2, and then minus 1 times 3 is going to be minus 3. Don't mind this is minus 3. Minus 3 is minus 3x. We have minus 3x here. So let's move on. This is now going to be divide both sides by 3 to get x. This is now going to be minus 2 divided by minus 3. You know it's minus 3 here, which is now going to be minus 2 over 3. Minus cancel minus is going to turn to positive, which is 2 over 3. Now let's go to word problem on simple equations. This is the same as solving simple equations. Example number 1. I think of a number, add 3 to it, and then divided the result by 5. If the answer equals the original number, what is that number? Those are examples. This is one of the examples of word problems, solving simple equations that involve word problems. Now number 2 question is the average cost of a number of erasers is 50k. If all the eraser cost 20 naira, find the total number of the eraser. Are you following? 50 kobo here. Now let's move on. Now solution. Number 1, let the number that you are talking about be x. Now let me go back. I think of a number. Think of that number. It could be x. Since you don't know the specific number, it could be a, it could be k, it could be w. But we are taking that number that you think about to be x, and you add that. You add 3 to that number, which is the x. You add 3 to x, that is x plus 3, and then you now divide x plus 3, which is the result, by 5. And if the answer is equals to the original number, which is that x, what is the number? Let me move on. Now you add 3 to the number, it will become 3x, and then when you divide the result by 5, it's going to become 3x divided by 5. And then since the result is equal to the original number we have, and the original number is what? Is x that you think about, which is now going to be 3 plus 5, x plus 3 divided by 5 equals to x. This is interpretation of that number 1 expression, of which you can simplify it to find x, which is we multiply both sides by 5, multiple of 5. Now solving this, we have 3x plus x plus 3 divided by 5 equals to x, which is now going to be, we multiply both, which is 5 will cancel 5, x plus 3 remain, and then 5 times 5 times x, which is x times 5, which is now going to be 5x. Now it's now going to be x plus 3 equals to 5x. Now bring x back to his friend, and 3 remain alone, which is now going to be 5x minus x, which is now going to be 4x, and then 4x, 3x equals to 4x. Make x the subject of the formula. X is now going to be 3 divided by 4. Are you seeing it now? Now let's go to number 2. Let the number that you are talking about, the number of the eraser, to be y. Are you getting it? So let me go back so that you get what I'm talking about. Now the number of eraser, let it be y. Are you getting it now? Well, the average cost of a number of eraser is 50k, and if the eraser cost 20 naira, so find the total number of that eraser. Now let's go on. Let's move forward now. Now this is what we are talking about. Number 2. It was an average cost of a number of eraser is 50 kobo, and now represent the average cost to be y. Let the number of eraser, the statement was an average cost of a number of eraser is 50 kobo, meaning that the number of eraser is not specifically known, and which you are using to represent y. So let the number be y, and then he said the average cost is of that number of eraser is 20 naira, which is now going to be 20 divided by y. And then you know that 50 kobo is equal to 50 divided by 100 in naira. Are you getting it now? So it's now going to be average cost of eraser will be equal, that is, the average cost of eraser will be 20 naira divided by the number of eraser, which is equals to 50 kobo, which is 50 divided by 100. This is the expression that we are talking about. Now from here you can find y, which is the number of eraser that they say you should find. It's now going to be multiply both sides by 100, which is this denominator. 50 divided by 100 times 100 is just a rearrangement, which is normal. Then equals to 20 divided by y times 100. 100 cancel 100, remain 50 here, and which is now going to be 100 times 20, which is 2000. Then you can cross multiply or find y, which is now going to be 50y. 50 times y equals to this, because you multiply both sides by y. So when you multiply both sides by y, you get 50y. 50, that is 50 times y, which is equals to 2000 divided by y times y, which is now going to be y will cancel y, which is now going to be 50y divided by 2000. Then you can find y by dividing both sides by 50, which is now going to be 40. That is 2000 divided by 50, which is 40. That is, the number of eraser is 40 pieces of eraser. So that is that for the simple equation with word problems. Thank you. So now you can go further by doing these evaluations. Solve the following equations, which are this number 1, number 2, number 3. That is where we end for part A of algebraic expression 2. Let's